We are live, E-Man. We are live and not in a very good mood. The Kings are getting destroyed by the Clippers on their home court. I think this is the third time the Kings are down by 30 plus this season. Might be fourth. For sure three, because I remember the Raptors and then the Warriors. I can't remember the other game. But for sure 3 games. And all I got to say is a change needs to happen. Where? I don't know, but a change needs to happen. How's everybody doing? How you doing, E-Man?
I am doing a-okay, bro. I agree with you. I think there definitely needs to be a shakeup. Um,
It's not too late. They're 5-8. They're right there. They just need a little shakeup. That's it.
it's just there's different agendas, and if you're trying to win the game, those agendas aren't going to be able to happen. And you're trying to build value because you're going to be trading some of these guys pretty soon, and today, man, he just showed how inconsistent this offense is more than anything. I don't know what the Clippers were running. I don't know if they were just switching on everyone and putting a hand in someone's face and these guys are missing. But they're showing the ability to stop Fox, and that's a big no-no. I think Fox has to be better at taking over games when they're struggling like this.
I also think that Luke really threw him off his rhythm today by putting him back into the 5-minute mark of the second quarter. Kojo played 10 minutes, and they were all very bad 10 minutes. And I hate to say, but as a coach, you have to manage these guys' minutes fairly efficiently. And I just feel like we're at the point where you know who is who. There is no more secrets. We know who Bagley is. We know who Fox, who Halliburton is, what they bring to the table. I just can't justify 10 really bad minutes from Kojo while your best player is on the bench getting cold. So that's part of him not finding his rhythm either. But also them being somewhat stagnant. Again, you're right. The defense, I felt like the Clippers were hitting on all cylinders. The Kings had some good defensive packages, and the Clippers are just better. Sometimes you just can't stop a guy like Kawhi Leonard. Sometimes you can't stop a guy like Paul George. I'm not worried about that. But when your offense is struggling like the way it has been in the third quarter, there needs to be some changes for sure, man.
Well, yeah, I think you were cutting off right there, but what I did hear was the defense wasn't that big of a deal because sometimes you just got to live with PG and Kawhi being special.
Yep.
But I do, like we talked about earlier today, man. I do think you can keep throwing different packages at these guys, and for like 4 or 5 consecutive plays, Kawhi specifically chose Buddy Hield and said, "I want him, and then I'm going to create off of this."
Yep.
And the Kings are so willing to switch. It's ridiculous how easy the switch is. Like, there's no push. There's no, let me just bump this guy off his lane. There's none of that. There's no message being sent like, okay, like you're gonna keep switching on me. I'm gonna make you pay for it. Like I'm gonna foul you hard. Stop picking me. You know what I mean? Send a
Yep.
message. Send something that's urgent. You know what I mean? They're like, hey man, stop picking on me. Or if you're Luke, what you can control is go under screens. When the Claw wasn't knocking down threes back to back like PG was in the first quarter, it was Kawhi was attacking and hitting mid range shots. So if you go under screens, you're gonna force him to pull up. You know what I mean? Just throw something different instead of him just being able to attack draw fouls, attack kick out, attack pull up, and sometimes he misses, sometimes he makes. He was more the inconsistent out of the two guys, and I just think on the defensive side, there still should have been some more mixes up there. But even right now, bro, you still watch them. They're still switching everything on these guys.
Yeah, and the Kings clearly don't have an identity on defense. We can't say, well, their identity is to give up threes or to give up the paint. They half-ass both things. We've said it
Yeah.
all season long. The really good defensive teams have an identity, regardless of you liking it or not. Period. The Bucks, the Raptors, the Lakers, I feel like give up a lot of three-point shots. That's on purpose. But they will defend the paint at all costs.
Yeah, and that's just personnel, bro. You have to understand this team doesn't have the personnel to, you know, be able to guard, like Bagley can't be out there in an island with Kawhi. You saw how he cooked him in the first quarter. Like that can't be happening. You gotta have it. You gotta have a zone. They went zone twice. The two of them, PG 4 shots, and he missed both.
No, he actually made one where he literally sliced that zone through the middle, and he banked
Yeah,
in a finger roll, and I was like, the idea was well. They rotated well, and then they just broke down that last instance.
yeah.
They overplayed that 3-point shot. Again, it's fundamentals. It's IQ.
You want
Stay
him to shoot
down.
it.
You
Yeah,
want him to shoot that ball. That is the purpose
that's
of a
the
zone. Just enough
exactly.
to contest.
Yep.
And they bit. Paul George saw it. He sliced him in the middle. That's the one thing you cannot allow. And that's what I'm saying. So, what is their identity? Like, you and me always go back. And I think I finally got to you where you have to give up something. These guys
Yeah.
are professionals. At some point, you know you're not going to stop somebody. The point is to make it difficult on somebody and just play numbers games. Sometimes, again, these great teams like teams just to shoot the 3-point shots. And I see a lot of fans on Instagram say, man, they allow too many jumpers. The problem is they allow too many jumpers and too many paint points. That's the issue. Now, if they
It's a
allowed a lot of paint,
perfect,
go ahead.
bro. It's like the Chiefs having a run game and a passing game
Yep.
and a quarterback sneak game. It's like all cylinders are running when they get paint points, when they get big guys getting dunks, when they get three guys getting good looks. That's like a perfect recipe for everyone just to have a good night and feel good, and everyone on the other side is full of energy because everyone's eating. And on the Kings' other side, we're executing the game plan. It's just you got to live with it. This is there's poison to this type of defense, and it's just man, like versus the Pacers. The Pacers was the best defensive game. Everyone was raving about Holmes. This is why Holmes. This is why Holmes, because they were playing it so easy. It was set up for Holmes. It was set up for Bagley. It was set up for Mewtwo or Metu. You know what I mean? Like these guys
He
can
said
benefit.
Mewtwo. Hey, I wish it was Mewtwo. He'd be dominating.
But that type of defense benefits these more athletic guys who can jump through the roof type bigs because they can go and just wait for the guy to come to them and just jump up and block it or contest it. Hassan will benefit the most from that, but nah, Luke's like, no, I've watched those Coach Daniel YouTube videos, and switching is the best option to guard Dame and to guard these little guys because you at least have a hand in front of them. These guys are special, bro. They're gonna hit anyway. So
So
take
you want
something
them?
away.
You want to just let them shoot jump shots and just protect the paint?
I would rather. This is my thing. I would rather be smart about it. Never allow a catch and shoot. If you're gonna give up a jump shot, it has to be a pull up. It has to be a pull up. The pull ups are the most difficult shots anybody can make. So if you get him to start dribbling, you back up, take your shot. It's okay. I'm gonna live with it because you're using energy dribbling the ball. You know what I mean? But on catch and shoots, my thing is don't allow catch and shoots and know your personnel. If let's just say Buddy's the one catching and shooting, if I'm the defense, I'm putting my lengthiest guy who can move out there and contest a shot on Buddy's side specifically. Wherever Buddy is, that's where I want my guy with length to be there initially. And then like the last 4 seconds of the game, last 4 seconds of the shot clock, move back to man. Like quick, gotta be bouncy. You know what I mean? So start off with zone, force him to dribble, pull up, shot. You live with it, and at the certain time of the shot clock, go back to man. You know what I mean? Because at the end, they're gonna. That's okay with me. And at the end, after that, after everyone plays man, everyone go crash. Because you're getting out rebounded too. You're a small team. Everyone's gotta crash. Don't just stare at the ball, man. Like some of these guys just watch the ball to see if it goes in. Like, no, get in there.
And Glenn Robinson is the worst at that. That guy just loves to watch. And for a guy who's that athletic on that dunk from their little point guard, I was like, oh my gosh, can
That's
you
my thing, bro.
can you
Like
at least contest and
business
show your
decisions.
athleticism?
Yeah.
That was embarrassing to me, and he's done that a lot. And in that first quarter that I rewatched against the Blazers, Kings did a lot of good things defensively. Like they were up by 10. They were playing zone. They switched things up. And I know you don't like the overplay, but Buddy had three really good possessions where he just clamped down and he denied CJ to get the ball. He got the ball, but then the shot the shot clock was running down, so they had less time, and that puts stress on an offense. So if he can get him off the rhythm, which is what I keep telling you and telling everybody, it's okay. But my problem is, again, tonight, sometimes it's just an effort thing, man, and these guys just don't have it. I don't get
Bro,
it. I don't know if they're even buying into what Luke is telling them. Like,
the the worst ones are when they miss on offense and they just like run back on defense and like without energy. Like, oh man, I missed.
they
Dang it.
lost by almost 40, bro. 138 to 100.
Well, they can still shoot it if they want to. I think they're gonna dribble it out.
Final score 138 to
Yeah, they're gonna
100.
dribble it out.
What a blowout. What an embarrassing loss. Luke should be ashamed of himself. I'm going to say that right now. The coaching staff should be ashamed of themselves. Every single player in that locker room should be ashamed of themselves. This is unacceptable basketball. Clippers aren't that good. Like, the Clippers aren't 38 point better. They're not 38 points better than you. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
not.
I know what you're saying. They're
They're
not.
not. They're not. And shame on the Kings for allowing this. They're now 5-8. Clippers are 9-4. The West is beginning to stabilize itself, and the good teams are beginning to step up. And the Kings, again, all they got to do is get a 10 seed, essentially just play 500 ball the whole way. But they can't fall into a deep hole, man. They're already 5-8, 3 games below 500. They got to do something. What will Monte McNair do? Will he make a trade? Will he fire Luke? Will he? I don't know. Like, what would you do if you were Monte McNair?
My priority, like my tomorrow or yesterday, what needed to happen yesterday is you need to find a replacement for Corey Joseph. Like
He's
above
terrible.
all, find a replacement for him. Give me someone that if you love to switch, if you're gonna be keep switching, give me someone who will give me an opportunity to put a hand in the face and contest a shot. Way more better than Corey Joseph. This dude is getting beat off the dribble, off of isolation plays, just pull up, and he's right. Corey's right on the guy's hip in front of him. Someone will still pull up and shoot it. Just
He's
we
biting a
need
lot.
a
Like, he's biting
replacement
on
on
pump fakes
Corey
all the
Joseph
time.
so bad. So, but I'm not, and not to say I don't like Corey Joseph. I think Corey Joseph has a whole another career on defense
Yeah.
because I see him a lot more now that I've been paying attention to defense a lot more. He's arguing with his coaching staff saying it's not working. Like we shouldn't be collapsing. When Dame drives in, like it's not working. He's like guys are getting open. I think he has an opportunity to have a nice career as a coach,
He's
maybe in
just
Canada.
old.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
He's just
Yeah,
older.
but yeah, bro. It's just not there, man. You need some.
And
I'd
he's
rather
just
have.
not.
I'd
Let's
rather.
let's be honest. He's just not a good offensive player. He has no moves. He over dribbles everything. He could have had an open shot to Glenn Robinson, and he took like one or two dribbles too many. Just little things like that where we can compliment that he sees things on defense, but he's just so tunnel vision on offense. He just doesn't see the plays. He's just so
Yeah,
slow to everything.
yeah. Like I said, and a good example is in terms of does your your productivity outweigh your negative play. And Buddy Hield, another perfect example. Yes, he doesn't have the lengthiest guy. Yes, he's not the quickest guy. Yes, he will get beat one on one. But guess what? His offense, just being one of the greatest shooters in this league, outweighs that. To have playing time in this league, and if you put him in the right system, he's gonna flourish. His game is gonna explode. People are gonna love him. But Corey Joseph on the other side, you can't tell me and put up an argument to say this is why Corey Joseph deserves minutes in this league because he does this XYZ XYZ XYZ. The only reason why he's playing is because you have Kyle Guy as a replacement. And if you think the defense is awful right now, it's going to be 30 times as awful when he steps in.
But your offense is gonna
But
be much
10
better.
times is but 10 times better on offense. That's my next point. So I mean, what like I don't have there's no argument no more, man. Like he's not shooting like he was to start off the season and in preseason. He's not creating plays like he was. I mean, I'm a the dribble pound, tendency is like, I think every scouting report just knows it now. He's gonna do that for 10 seconds.
It's like they want him to do that. And to
I
me, how defenses attack the Kings is they're like, go ahead, Bagley, beat me. They purposely leave Bagley to shoot those shots, and he falls for. Sometimes he does the right thing and he attacks the basket, then good things happen. But when he just settles for jump shots, man, that's like you're falling right into their hands. They want you to shoot these 3-point shots, which you're still not good at. I don't care if you hit a few of them last
yeah
game or the game before. It doesn't matter. That's what they want you to do, to shoot those shots. They said, I'm going to take away De'Aaron's drives, which they did, and they allowed other jumpers. So that's where the Kings, I feel like, don't have a true identity. Sometimes they do a lot of good things on defense, but it's not consistent. It's not sustainable. Again, that first quarter was great against the Blazers, and I haven't even watched the second quarter, but
hmm
I'm assuming that the second quarter was atrocious because they were only up by 2 or 3 points. So I can't imagine it being a good quarter. And this just goes back to watching film, man. When I recognized last night, I watched at least 2-3 hours of it, just the playoff games, and then the first quarter of the Kings. I didn't even pay attention to the offensive side, man. Like, I was so occupied watching it 2 or 3 times each possession, trying to figure out, okay, where did Holmes get attacked? Was he flat-footed? Did they attack his right side, his left side? Was he in defensive position? Just every single guy. I watched every single play 2 or 3 times because I needed to understand what type of moves are these offensive players doing. Obviously, they're getting better just in general, just basketball in general. Everybody's more skilled nowadays. But they're attacking certain movements that they recognize maybe a second before the untrained eye does. And I had to literally slow it down 2-3 times for me to watch. And I'm like, oh, shit. This is why he got that first step and blew by him. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, just little
hmm
things that you can't notice in the live game because your adrenaline is high. You're looking for the end result, right? Did he score or did he not score? But you don't know why he scored or why he didn't score. And those are the nuances of watching film the right way. And it takes a lot of time because just on one side of the floor, man, it's going to take you at least 40 minutes just to watch a quarter. Can't imagine. Again, that's why you and me were talking about earlier. Everybody on the coaching staff has a role. I'm sure that Rex just watches defense, and whoever else watches. I don't know if that's Coach Gentry, but man, it's tough, and Luke has his hands full, honestly. But the more I think about it, and the more I see the body language, especially in that third quarter, I feel like guys aren't buying in, man. And these are signs that when guys are close to getting fired, and I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but these are like the symptoms that you start to see from players who aren't getting back on defense. This third quarter was just awful, and it was a culmination of, again, 3 or 4 times where they've been down by 30 plus points.
hmm
So I don't know what's gonna happen, man. But just again, watching the film, they do good stuff, but the good teams do it consistently, and the Kings aren't there yet. And I feel like teaching has a lot to do with it. Experience,
hmm
obviously, playing together has a lot to do with that as well. And just watching that Nick Nurse versus Brad Stevens playoff series, man, and how these defenders would cover up for their teammates just smoothly, just without even just it was so smooth, bro. That's where I hope one day the Kings can get. And honestly, for Sean Holmes, Harrison Barnes, Tyrese, and Fox, they have the potential to be really good.
Yeah. And so you have an option as a coach or versus different lineups. Do you, when you look at the draft or you look at trade options, do you look for a replacement to put Holmes at the 4 and have a big out there like a Rudy Gobert type guy who's just gonna sink down there and just bother guys from driving in, or do you have another guard out there? And that's
Good
just up to
question.
you. That's just up to you entirely. Like as a coach, as a GM, you got to decide that on what do you think is going to benefit Fox. So
That's a good question. Holmes is beginning to develop his game. So I just feel
he
like
is. It's crazy.
tonight, people want to say, oh, he's a journeyman, but he's been in the league same amount of time as Miles Turner. Obviously, Miles Turner's 3 years, 2 years and a half younger. But to me, it's like, dude, they've been in the league the same amount of time, and age really, man, like it's so overrated because you're either good or you're not good. I don't care if you're young per se, but you're not good. This is a results oriented league, and fan bases, all of them, not just the Kings fan base, all of them are like, what have you done for me lately? That will always be the thing. Patience will never be a thing anymore. There's no such thing as patience. They want results, man. And Rashawn Holmes last year, he took a huge step forward. Now he's taking it another step forward. And I just feel like tonight he showed that some bigs, when they overplay him, and teams know that he doesn't want to attack the basket because he's looking for somebody in that give and go. But if he can just start attacking these other bigs where he's mobile enough to actually do that, he's going to get him in foul trouble, and he's going to get more buckets like he did tonight. So that's an element of his game where if I'm the coaching staff, I'm going to highlight it tomorrow in film session and be like, you got to do this more. Read what they're giving you, and if they're overplaying you, blow right by them because you're more than capable of doing it, right?
Yeah, bro. I mean, I mean, he's earned that right, honestly. I mean, are you gonna get mad at him for doing that? Like, no, like you show it on defense, right? No, now I'm gonna give you a little more trust on offense. Here's the ball, make a play, and we'll see where the chips may fall. I mean, you're doing the same exact thing to Bagley.
Exactly.
You're letting him get these looks, right? Because he's
He
a
hasn't
number two
earned it.
pick. But when you got a journeyman, who's developing like over there, a rocket over there, Christian Wood, where the journeyman, a guy who wasn't supposed to be doing it. Now he's getting the ball and say, you know what, you've earned this. Go ahead and do it.
Right.
And respect to Holmes, man. He's been earning that right for sure.
Buddy Hield today, again, it's just so hard to really highlight a player when they lose by 38 points. This is a game where you watch the first half and you just throw away the second half, or do you pinpoint everything in the second half if you're Luke Walton tomorrow?
Um, I just, well, yeah. I mean, you have to look at the third because that's where it all collapsed. Honestly, that's where you started missing. So if you're gonna keep looking at the second half, you're gonna look at, okay, what'd you do offensive? What'd you do correctly offensively? And what they do defensively to get all these stops? Was it everyone had a night off night, or was a contested shot good enough for you guys to miss all these looks? You know what I mean? The defense was more on transition buckets more than anything. Like the Kings had 10 points. These guys were catching, dribbling it up. No one was set. Everyone was scrambling. Easy. They got so many good looks because of that. And so I would say the second half, don't focus on defense as much. It was in the first half where, the game was slow and you were getting out rebounded. Guys weren't crashing. You guys were switching and it wasn't working. No one went under screens on Kawhi like I thought they should have. I think you live with him pulling up, and I think they should have kept switching on PG because that guy was a bucket. He's been a bucket all year. He's on a mission, so respect to him. You got it. You got to have someone on him at all times. But
What did
offensively, you got to figure out what happened in that third quarter, man. 10 points is inexcusable, and the refs didn't help either. Like HB was getting no calls, and I don't know if that was just the Clipper defense or they just didn't want to call it today.
what did you think about Metu, or as you like to say, Mewtwo?
Mewtwo, that's Mewtwo. Uh, I loved how aggressive he was and trying to dunk on someone's head. I'll tell you that. I think that
Did you like him
that affects.
defensively?
No, I didn't. Honestly, I didn't like it. No. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't. But that's just to say the whole team was bad.
Yeah.
And I saw them more in the second half. I didn't watch. I don't know if he played the first quarter. I didn't watch the first quarter. I just watched the second quarter and the third quarter and a little bit of the fourth. But the times I did see him, most of they were missing a lot, and it's just getting back in transition. There's not much you can do.
Yeah, the only thing I liked about him defensively is that he's, in the sense like Holmes, where he's lively off his feet and he can move his feet laterally, which, in a sense, that allows you to at least give you a chance to contest. his thing
Yeah.
is too. He tries to block everything, and he's a lot like Holmes. He's gonna get in foul trouble sometimes, but I liked what I saw in terms of the intangibles of being able to slide his feet and
I
stay in front of somebody.
I just wish Kawhi or PG would have attacked him more, like get the switch on him, but they weren't even choosing him. They were just letting him be on the other side of the court. And they were choosing Buddy like crazy. So I didn't really get to see him on a switch. Like we get from Holmes. Like we get a heavy dose of Holmes on switches. Like Holmes is gonna be so locked in for the playoffs if he moves on from the Kings and into a playoff team. He's gonna be so ready for the playoffs because he has seen everyone switch on him, and he's gonna know every point guard's tendency by the time it gets to the playoffs.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna open up the calls right now. Not trying to hold you guys up on a Friday night, 9:28. Luke is talking right now. I'm kind of uh on the call. Let me see. Oh well. Welcome to the show, Javier.
How are you guys doing today?
Good, man.
So, for everybody that's listening and beating a dead horse that I've done, quite frequently, we don't have three things that are key to win this league consistently. We don't have a go-to scorer outside of Fox. If Buddy's not shooting lights out, because he's not a one-dimensional player, but he's a scorer, or he's a shooter. He's not a scorer. He'll get his shots, but he's not somebody that can facilitate his own shot consistently. So we don't have a go-to guy, and if Fox not dropping 25 plus, we're more or less stuck when you look at the film offensively. Number two is we can see, and we can harp on the 18 draft all we want, but it's just Marvin Bagley is just hindering the team. And they're going to either let it continue to develop, and we're going to keep waiting, and I wouldn't say wasting seasons, but his hindrance of his overall progression, because he's essentially in his second season, and they're just letting him develop slowly. He's like a roadblock in the team's progression, but because they're going to let him get these valuable minutes, he's going to hinder us offensively, even defensively. I mean, Nemanja not playing is just asinine, and Jabari Parker, as a proven scorer in this league, whether he's bad defensively or not, he's going to get you 15 to 20 points if he gets 25 minutes. I don't care if nobody says. He can be as bad as everyone says. Jabari Parker scores the basketball consistently, and he's a proven commodity in his league. And they don't want to play because it's the PR aspect. How are we not going to play the number 2 overall pick? He should have been the number 2 overall pick. If Luka Doncic was on the Kings, we would not be in this position. And Luke won't even be the coach. And the third point is we don't have a competent coach that's consistently going to give us what we need to win consistently. He's going to be consistently inconsistent with the game plan. And the rant that I'm going to give tomorrow, I'm going to tease a little bit, is going to be one word: is Chicago. But everyone, please, tune in when Leo posts my rant. But I'm just letting everybody know that we don't have a go-to scorer outside of Buddy Hield if he's not shooting lights out. De'Aaron Fox is a great player, but I don't think he can give you consistently 25 and 30. That's just not his skill set. But he's a great player. And number 2, Marvin Bagley's lack of his upward progression it's killing this team, and it's not even his own fault. He just shouldn't have been picked there, period. Like, Divac has set the team back. A lot of the players he put in place are playing well, but the one-man player he should have picked, he didn't. And I don't care how much I said. Bogdanovich would have helped the team. And what you said in the comment, or the subject of this video, Leo, like, not only is Luke Walton obviously he's not going to get us to where we need to be, but what's McNair's plan? Are we going to let him go in 10 games, 5 games? Are we going to let him go the whole 72 and not even get Gentry to try? Or what are we going to do at the deadline? Because this is like 2009 to 2015 Sacramento.
Yep.
You know what I mean? 30-point L's. Like, we're not that bad. Like, are we that bad?
No.
Like, last time we got like 3 number 1. We got 3 top 10 picks on this roster right now. I think 3 in the top 5.
Yeah.
Like, how are we this bad? Like, Marvin Bagley, De'Aaron Fox, Jabari Parker, like, Halliburton is no slouch. Obviously,
Buddy was top 6.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't care. I'll talk about Jaeger too. How do we go from competing every game to like? We were at 20. I know Jaeger blew hella leads, but this is like this, I'm over here having to like sit in my chair and just hope, all right, let's keep it within 10. Like, I don't want to feel like that. Like, I'm sure the fans out there are like, man, the Clippers are good, but good 38-point L?
Nope.
I'm just Woody McNair, I don't know. I'm not saying, granted, we're 5-8, 13 games through. But it's like, what is Luke gonna? He's gonna have an epiphany tomorrow. He's gonna have a 180-degree turn with his play selection, or his concepts, schematically, his play design, defensively. He's gonna just flip a switch tomorrow. I
Nope.
mean, it is what it is. It's just I don't. Man, they were so quick to cut Yeager. But I mean, you've seen the upward tick. You've seen the progression. Like I said, that's a DVOC decision. And now it's like, do you want to pay Luke to walk away? And man, I'm just.
It's tough, brother.
Oh, man.
Save it for your rant tomorrow, man. Appreciate the call.
It's like I'm just repeating myself, but I just don't know what's the solution. I don't know. What do you? I don't know. I want the fans. I mean, we're not going to have
you play to your personnel, man. You got guys who
Nickel
can't play
Jokic,
defense, so
what
you
do
play
we
zone. So bad defenses do.
Yep. All right, Javier. Save it for tomorrow. He hung up. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, bro. Like I said, man, you got to play to your personnel. You got to play your personnel. I know Rex wants to switch, and someone just tweeted it. I retweeted him. He said, "This isn't Siakam, Kyle Lowry, and Kawhi Leonard no more. These guys don't have the ability to switch on defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your personnel now is guys with short hands, not as mobile, slower guys who can't stay in front of these guards. You gotta adjust,
or you got 4 good defenders, right? In theory, in Fox, Halliburton, HB, and Holmes, and Buddy technically is your weakest link, but that lineup doesn't play much. And to me, it's frustrating to watch that. I was like, bro, you're down by 15 in third right away. I don't care if you're waiting for your exact 7-minute mark to put in a guy. Like, no, dude, like make the substitution right now before the game gets out of hand. And guess what? The game got out of hand.
Yep.
It's just sad as a coach, man. You just gotta make those moves. Period. Who cares if it messes up your rotation for the night? You're trying to win a basketball game, man. And as Javier said, it's a PR stunt that Bagley is playing. The amount of time that he's playing, he shouldn't be playing all those minutes. He's hindering the team for his development. That's the thing. What is the agenda of this team? Is it to make the playoffs, or is it to develop Marvin Bagley? That is the question of the season. Which one is it? Because one player clearly isn't good enough to be playing out there. The amount of minutes that he's playing, the amount of time in key situations. I get it. They started him off against Kawhi Leonard. I was like, all right, some length could bother him. Not really. Kawhi is just so good. Nothing can bother Kawhi. It's just, again, how do you make it more difficult on these great players? And putting Marvin Bagley on him wasn't one of them. I'm sorry to say it. He wasn't one of them. If he was a little bit stronger, it would make sense because length, in theory, should, bother a guy like Kawhi Leonard. But when you're that great, nothing bothers you, man. It's just when you put in the work like that, man, you're going to get buckets no matter what.
Well, look at this, for example, bro. Let's just say this is Giannis. And how does every single scouting report guard Giannis? Everyone go build the wall down low, and hopefully he tumbles and misses or shoots it, right? And that's just my concept with Kawhi. Like, you should have just built the wall down low and forced him to take a pull-up jump shot. Like, I'm okay with that.
Or a 3.
I'm okay with, or a 3, and live with him shooting jump shots. Those are the hardest shots in the game. And PG on the other side, that guy's special. He's playing special right now, bro. It's a top shooter this year. And tip your hat off to that guy. You put a man on him. You front that guy like people front Buddy.
Yep.
He's gonna be your floor spacer, and you just gotta do your best you can on that guy. But Kawhi, I think Kawhi was manageable today, and you could have adjusted, and you didn't.
People are chiming in saying Bagley hasn't improved since his last year in college. There's an argument to be made about that. The same things we were saying in the draft breakdowns is still true to this day. He still has no right hand. He's still very left hand dominant, wanting to go up left. And when he goes right, he struggles. And as of late, man, even today, he missed the alley-oop. He missed another bunny layup. He's been missing a lot of layups this season. What's going on with Bagley? He can't even do what he's supposedly good at, which is finishing around the rim.
He hurt himself again. I don't know if you noticed. He was wearing tape around his thumb. He hurt it last game when he dunked it. But he's been missing all season. But that did happen last game, and he was. I don't know if you guys noticed, but durability, man. He played. He stuck it through. Respect for that. He's resilient. But I just see a cycle, man. This guy is getting hurt.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't know that, man. But I'm just hoping for the best. Again, the moral of the story, moral of this show is very simple. Changes need to happen. Period. So, what's gonna happen? We'll find out very soon. If it's nothing, well, you know why. We're against tanking, 100%. You have to approach and play your best guys. Again, tanking is when they start playing, Bagley 30-plus minutes and all these other super young. Like, that's when you're like, okay, they're tanking. Right now, they're just losing. Right now, they're just not good enough because they're not paying attention to the details to become a good team. It takes, as Doug said on telecast today, it takes pain to be good. You got to suffer to be good. It's hard to be good. It's not easy. Even in a simple analogy, even when you're playing pickup basketball, it's difficult to wipe out and run the court and never lose a game because guys are playing hard because you're trying to stay on the court. You got to approach the game that way. Like there's no tomorrow because you don't want to get off the court. And in this sense, you don't want to take the L. So are you going to bring it every night? Are you going to have that Rashawn Holmes mentality where he plays like there is no tomorrow? Can guys gather together, rile up, and play for one another? That's the question that we all got to ask ourselves, and we'll have to watch develop in the next couple of games because if they keep getting blown out by 30 points, hate to say, and I don't ever like saying, oh, fire somebody, but something has to happen. And 30-point losses, again, is an early symptom of what? Of a team not buying in anymore, of a team tuning out the leader of the team, which is a head coach. So that's all I'm going to say, man. Any final words, E-Man?
You hit it right on the nail, bro. Have a good night.
All right, so I appreciate
we playing Warzone tonight, boys.
They're playing Warzone. Hey, hit up E-Man to join this team, man.
Yo, my boy was already commenting. He was like, hop on already.
Hop on already, man. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Make sure you hit the like or dislike, however y'all feeling, man. It don't really matter. Make sure you drop a review on iTunes. Helps us out a lot for the audio version. And stay tuned for more breakdowns. I'm going to get in depth a lot more because I'm learning every day. Both E-Man and I are learning. And that's the thing. You never stop learning as a basketball player, as a basketball analyst, as a basketball commentator, whatever it is. You never stop learning. That's how you should approach the game. Never stop learning. Always strive for greatness. See you guys. No tanking. See y'all on the next one. Peace.
Thanks.